Hey, good morning from Spring Hill Plantation Bed and Breakfast and Winery. Today I'm going to be priming. I've gotten the sanding done. Golly, I hate sanding. Took me 2 days to do, but it's finished. I made a mess, but it's all done. So I get excited about this part because I get to start painting and priming, and I'm going to be putting up trim. I'm putting up a 2-piece crown up here all around the room, and then where that line divides between the drywall mud and the paint above, the old paint above, I'm gonna do a chair rail all the way around the room as well. And then with that division, we're gonna do wallpaper up here, and then I'm gonna paint down below here. Tell you a quick story. Last night we went over to Bardstown, and we had dinner at Bardstown Burger. It's one of our favorite places to go. If you ever visit Bardstown or you're nearby, you need to check them out. They have the best burgers and fries I think I've ever had. But we were sitting there, and on the counter they had this little, lighted thing that had the date and time, and different things would scroll through, the weather, and some trivia and jokes, and it had a joke popped up. And so my son, my 22-year-old son, and my wife were there, and I read him this joke. And the funny thing is, my 22-year-old just looks at me like, I don't get it. And I was like, really? So here's the joke. My 11-year-old son asked me for a bookmark. And I started to cry because my 11-year-old son didn't know that my name was Brian. So see if you can figure it out. Bobby couldn't get it. He just looked at it and was like, really? I gotta explain it to you. But anyways, so I'm gonna get started here doing some priming, and I'll show you when I'm done. All this yellow is gonna start to go away. It's gonna start fading, and things are gonna start turning into something here. So talk to you later. All right, well, I'm finished priming. Ceiling's finished. Boy, that looks a whole lot better than that textured ceiling that was on there. I wanted to get rid of that from the time we moved in here. Believe it or not, all the rest of the rooms in this house have textured ceilings, and which was a thing at one time to do. It's an easy way to hide imperfections on the ceiling, but they wouldn't have done it back in the 1800s, so I wanted to get rid of it, so it's gone, and I hope to do it throughout the rest of the house. But all the walls are primed, the yellow's gone, except of course right up there at the ceiling where I'm going to cover with crown mold. But usually this is when things show up that I either miss sanding or mudding properly, and I'm pleased. I didn't really see anything that I got to deal with, so I'm good to just keep right on moving. I don't know, there's something about doing this that when I change things in a room, it's like I can almost feel the room just kind of give a big old sigh and just say, oh boy, that feels good. Nothing that wrong with the color that was on here, but it was a little heavy and dark for the room, so I can already tell it feels so much lighter in here. And the exciting thing is the wallpaper came today, so I get to check that out and see what it's going to look like. Maybe I'll show you that tomorrow. But I'm going to change gears now. There's owning a winery and a vineyard. There's a lot to do around here, so I'm going outside. I'll show you maybe what we're doing out there. All right, so I'm outside now in the vineyard, as you can tell. I had a couple of young guys out here who've been working all morning on what we're needing to do. You can see I got a vine right here and all this undergrowth, all this stuff right here. Got cut all that back because this is where voles like to get into in the overwinter and burrow in there. And I don't know if you know the difference between a mole and a vole, but a mole is a meat eater and a vole is a vegetarian, believe it or not. And a vole will eat the roots off this vine and kill it. So we got to go through, and the only way to do this successfully is by hand. So it's a lot of tedious work to do. It takes a long time. There's probably a couple of thousand vines out here we got to get through, and then in between each vine, after we pull all this away right here, we can use the weed eater, which goes a little bit quicker, but obviously you can't get up next to the vine with the weed eater because if you hit it, it'll die. So, which I've done. So I'm gonna get at that now and give them a hand for a while and then get back in that room tomorrow.